Oh man, we are live and it is Esports with Emrick, and I am Danger. And as I like to do every now and then, I like Chris to attempt to teach me how to gamble on video games.
Look, Danger, you threw me off there. I said I would do the intro. I wasn't paying attention. You knew I wasn't paying attention. There was no countdown video.
Nope.
I was doing something, so we just went live.
Got you good.
You threw me off. You threw me off. It's okay.
This is like when you tell me to keep it, keep it on the rails, and then I immediately go off the rails.
Yeah. Well, hey, it is what it is. Yeah, so we've got the National Electronic Sports Tournament, NEST. It's a minor tournament that follows Worlds. It's kind of unique in the sense that, you're not getting a lot of the big names that you normally get from some of these LPL teams because they don't want to play in it. It's not a huge prize pool. And then in some cases, they're not even under contract. So they don't even have a team. Now, there are a couple teams that are sending almost entirely their pro rosters. We're going to talk about them a little bit. But a lot of these teams are combinations of the pro roster, the pro subs, and then LDL teams that kind of like their minor league teams. So anything and everything can happen, and we don't necessarily know exactly who's playing in every case. So it should be a little wild ride. We're going to build some safe lineups for you, though, and take it from there.
Oh, man, I like it. And a lot of times when I come on for these, I dread it a little bit because, I can't pronounce these people's names. You watch all of these and you hear them being said, but I get excited when I see Eric, when I see Rat, when I see Wings. I can get behind this.
Yeah, look, there's some pretty easy ones. One of my favorites is Ice Coke, but there are a ton of them that are not very easy to say, and we're going to have some issues with it. So,
is this XZZ any relation to the YZZ?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oof. All right, I'm in, man. So where do we begin? Are we going to go left or right like we do before? What are we going to do here?
Yeah, we can do this. We can follow along. Let me pull up the article that I put together that's posted over on drroto.com. Should be free. If it's not free and you can't get access to it, you can also go find the pre-edited version over in the esportsdepartment.com in the Discord. If you go up to about 6-7 o'clock at night, actually it's about 5-6 o'clock. I posted it there, so you can just pull the actual Word document if you want.
Or you can holler at Chris here, and he can give you my email, and I'll make sure you get a copy. How's that?
Yeah, any of those type of things.
Yeah. I dig it, but we only have like 3 hours, man. So we got to get her done, right?
Yeah, we sure do. This is it's a tournament that starts at 1 o'clock and ends around 6 or 7 if we're talking Eastern time. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know how much of them I'm going to watch tonight, but we got 6 or 7 of these slates, and this may be the only one that's of any decent size. As I suspect we probably are going to hit some overlay, and as a result, these contests are going to shrink. But let's get right into it. The first game that we have is OMG. Oh my God, playing Rogue Warriors. OMG is a minus 275 favorite. Rogue Warriors plus 200. OMG is running a kind of quasi lineup. You've got and I'm not going to say some of these names right. You got Moonin, you got 98K, Wooming, Eric, 2Y1, and Payne. So Eric and Wooming are both guys that have played on the main roster. Wooming used to play for Rogue Warriors. He's played for a couple teams. He's not really an exciting mid laner, but he's not a bad one by any means. Eric was a guy that came up, had quite a bit of hype behind him, had some good games last year, but was just supplanted on this OMG roster by Abel this year. So those two guys are probably the reason that we're seeing OMG be the favorite here, because Moonin 98K, 2Y1 if he plays over Eric, and maybe he does because he does have experience playing with Payne, don't we all? But this OMG roster was really not very good in the LDL. They were actually the worst team in the entire LDL, which is the minor leagues to the LPL. And even in their wins, they weren't exciting. They had 11 kills per win, 18 deaths per loss. They were just an overall bad team. On the other side of things, Rogue Warriors, not like they were great, but they were a little bit better. we've seen some of these guys play on the main roster, not because they were good enough. It's just because nobody was good enough and somebody had to do it. But just based on names alone, I think you have to back the Rogue Warriors here. Panda C, great name. Ice Coke, best name out there. A couple of these other ones are a little bit more challenging to say, Zeffing or something along those lines. But look, this team, it could have been. Yeah, look, hey, this team was bloody, though. 19.6 kills per win, 20 deaths per loss. I love them at plus 200. I'm putting a unit on it. I think I'm going to play quite a bit of Rogue Warriors, and OMG is one of my teams that I am just completely fading. One of the things that I do like about this Rogue Warriors team is the support position is the only one that has two possible players that we're not sure who's going to be playing. So you can play the top jungle, mid, and ADC without any worries.
I like that. And obviously, we'll watch our favorite Twitter feeds to make sure we see who's starting.
Yeah, look, you could. You're probably better off following Weibo.
Yeah,
Chinese one. So
yes, yeah. You turned me on to one. I still have the notifications on. Starts with a K. Kenji.
Yeah, Kenzie.
Kenzie. There we go.
Not gonna post anything about this. So yeah, next game. This one's a little bit of a closer one odds wise. We've got the world champion EDG versus UP. Excuse me. This isn't the world championship roster though. These are both mainly LDL squads. You've got some cool names again though, man. Like you got Solo Kill, you got Hope, Leave. It's the problem is that you have a lot of question marks on who's going to play, how much have they played together. This EDG team as a whole, when they were in the LDL, were a very bloody team. I like playing them in DFS, but UP was a pretty bloody team too. And in fact, they were one of the best teams in the LDL. They made it into the playoffs and lost in the first round, but they lost to the eventual champion RA's minor league team. So I think that UP as a plus 110 fave or underdog here is a very interesting spot from a betting perspective. I think both of these teams are firmly in play for DFS playability.
Man, and you know that I enjoy my names, and just the team name alone, Ultra Prime, just gets me ramped. I love it.
Yeah, the challenge with Ultra Prime, though, is that their jungle and their mid are both spots that we're not necessarily sure who's going to be playing. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be Yakai and Kame. I'd be really surprised if it was Whisper, less surprised if it was Zhao Kobao. I think I said that name wrong.
I think you did. That's how I would say it.
Yeah. One of the things too is looking at some of these teams, like the meta has changed so much from when these teams last played, and the meta is still going to change a ton from the time that they actually have significant games in a couple months, that it's really hard to go back and look through some of these players' histories and kind of get an idea of what they're good at, because they're mainly prospects. They're not guys that have been around for a long time. And like, for example, over at OMG, what can you really garner from that game when these guys won, I think, a total of 8 games in their 8 out of 40 games? Like, they're going to have losing records. They played very meta champions, and can they play champions outside of that? Probably, but we'll see. So I'm backing up from a betting perspective, but I'm going to split this game. I think you can play all different parts of it.
All right. So far, we like Rogue Warriors. All right. I'm making my notes. I'm going to play 3 lineups and a 3 max, and then I'm going to throw the rest into a 50-50 probably. So I'm taking some notes here.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep going on, man. Let's keep doing it. Let's do SN and FPX.
So SN, this is going to be the Suning Gaming. This is their main squad. This is a team that was essentially the runner-up at Worlds in 2020. The team that didn't make it to Worlds, fell kind of disappointingly short this past split, but they're still a good team. They still competed with some of the best. At their absolute best, Bin, SFM, and Angel are very good top-tier players. Hong Fong is one of the best ADCs, if not the best, at times, in the entire world. So and we're not talking about On because he sucks, but like this team is a minus 475 favorite, and it's justifiable. This is a pro level team, and they should take care of business. Now, that being said, like I don't think they win 9 out of 10 times. I think FPX can steal 2 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10 games. And so at plus 305 in a best of 1, I like betting FPX, but make no mistake about it, I don't expect them to win. This team, though, like this FPX team is not terrible. We've seen Bichon play before. I can't pronounce Zylahu. I think Zylahu is how you say his name, something similar to that. We saw him step in for Naguri, and Jing Wai and Jiang were both super good in the LDL. And then we saw a little bit of Shenji too. So this FPX team is not like a pushover. I don't think I'm going to play them in DFS, and kind of the reason why, they're a relatively bloody team. 18 kills per win, 20 deaths per loss. But Suning, on the other hand, while they have a 17 kill per win, they do have a 15 death per loss. It's hard to say.
So explain that to me, Chris, as I'm, only an occasional dabbler. So they're super favorites. They're playing pro level against a whole bunch of rookies for the most part across the slate, right? But like they could win a very low scoring game is what you're trying to say.
No, I mean, it's twofold. You don't necessarily want to attack a team like Suning that has a low death per loss. Basically, when they lose, they kind of just clam up and they don't fight, and the game just kind of prolongs, but there's not a lot of fantasy points scored.
Gotcha.
However, that being said, the other way to look at it is, do you think that a team that is vastly inferior in FPX is going to win a game like that? Like they're going to outplay them early, and the Suning's just not going to come out, and they're not going to challenge, and they're not going to try and play against them? Probably not. Like the more likely scenario is that if FPX wins this game, it's a bloody fiesta where it's just like a couple fights really go in their favor, and they snowball it from there. So I think FPX is absolutely playable in the largest GPPs, but I would have a very, very small sprinkle of them.
All right. So if I'm playing a 3 max, we're probably just kind of avoiding that.
Yeah, and I think you'll be okay there.
I like it. All right. Shall we continue, or you want to touch on anything else there?
No, I think we can go over to BLG LGD. So like BLG is a minus 145 favorite, was a decent team in the LDL. A lot of parts of this team were LDL kind of pieces. Myths, Can, Pins, Wings, and Rise, where Biu and Ju, or Jiwi, both played on the main squad. Biu, one of the better top laners at his best in the LPL. I don't know. I think LGD was a team that really beat up on inferior competition. Shadow is one of the better kind of junglers, at least in this tournament. Garvey is more than capable as a top laner, and Chance is a decent support. I think this game's pretty even. That's why I like LGD from a betting perspective. Really no data on LGD because of the way that this team is put together and hasn't really played together a lot. But the BLG team, for the most part, was one of the bloodier teams in the LDL. 21 kills per win, 20 deaths per loss. I love attacking this game from both sides. We do want to see if we can find out if Q or Shadow is going to be playing. If it's Q, then I'm heavily backing BLG. Otherwise, I think this is a 50-50.
All right.
All
I
right.
remember a few of these names. I'm just kind of reminiscing from the summer that wasn't in regular sports.
Sure. Yeah, well, some of these names came up, not so many of them, but
no, not really. All right, moving on. V5 and IG.
So V5 plus 158, IG minus 205. Look, I'm almost exclusively betting the dogs. Plus money bets, just a lot of variance in this. That's the way that I like to roll. V5 though, I can't bet on them. We saw this squad. We saw them throughout the entirety of the LPL summer. Kepler, Invincible, PZX. They sucked, man. They were really, really bad. They won 3 games. Now, albeit this IG team is comprised of some pieces that are probably a little bit below the level of competition V5 was playing, but not necessarily. Look, Nenny came in and stepped in for the Shy, played pretty commendably in the top lane. Zune is one of the best junglers, in my opinion, within the LPL. At times, he can be the absolute just fantasy nuts. Now, it is less attractive playing him with XEZ and Nenny, but I think he should be more than capable of handling PZX. Look, in this ADC position, this IG team throughout all of summer had struggles with the ADC, whether it was Wink, whether it was Puff. I don't think this is really a step back, and Lucas is a decent enough support. I like IG. I think they're a great cash game team. Minus 205. I'm going to throw a unit on them. I actually think I'm throwing 2 units on them. So that's kind of where I want to go with that.
All right. Scratching my notes. RWIG. All right. All right. We got one last game. We got the 5:10 a.m. If I was going to stay up and watch, this is how I play it, right? I play Rogue Warriors, and if they crush, then I stay up and hang out. If they don't, then I just go to bed because I'm going to play probably IG or I'm going to play some of this late match here.
Well, I'm going to tell you the secret too. If you're, no matter what, after the first game, especially if they're best of 3 series, which these aren't, but no matter what, that first game, if everything goes well, you need to go make some fried eggs. Yeah. Like, look, it's just my good luck. I always went and made fried eggs, and then things turned around, and it went my way. If I didn't make the fried eggs, it was bad. I think I have about a 60 to 70% works every time percentage. So
I love it.
Yeah, man.
I dig it. So I like the late game hammers. So what's here for me?
Yeah, hey, you've got LNG. I'm not really excited about this LNG team. They weren't fantastic. They weren't bad either. Makuya is all right. Some of these other pieces, it's just hard to kind of pinpoint them from DFS because Beige is the only piece that we know is going to play outside of Makuya and Yawa, but it could be LP, it could be Uneasy, both super cool names actually. LP, a lot of different ways that could go. Then you've got Virgil and Yura. I don't know. Plus 230. I'm going to throw a half unit. I don't feel good about it. I really like this JDG team. 705, 1250. One of these two guys. The problem is I don't know who's going to play. And the problem also is that some of these guys haven't played together. Yi is a decent mid laner. He's coming over from TT. I'm going to play with some of these guys from the LDL. JDG was pretty decent in the LDL, made it the playoffs. 18.7 kills per win, 18 deaths per loss. So definitely a bloody team. But I think you can go with JDG here and play quite a bit of them in DFS. I wouldn't play them in cash though.
Fair enough.
So to kind of round this out, if I'm playing cash, actually, I misspoke there. I meant to say I would play JDG in cash.
Yes.
Suning, JDG, and IG are my 3 favorite cash plays. GPP, I like Up, I like Sunning, JDG, LGD, BLG, and even EDG. Basically, I really just want to stay away from V5 and OMG.
Gotcha. So I'm going to do a 3 max, okay? So I feel like if I mix and match mostly IG and RW, the pricing is totally fine, and I can make any combos I want, and I can just kind of variate between those two in a 3 max. Is that an okay strategy, or do you think I just find some dogs and just throw them in there and then say goodbye to that $9 if the dogs don't win?
I think
which I'm okay with. That I'm okay with that.
Well, see, I think what you do is you take that RW. We want to play RW, and that's a side that we want to, put our flag in the ground. We take RW and we play them with both Up or both, one lineup with Up and then one lineup with EDG. Okay, so Rogue Warriors win, then you're good. You have one lineup that's going to have 2 teams that win, right?
Right.
Is it optimal? I don't know, but it could be. Then you can go ahead and then just play something completely off the board, like a Suning JDG or something like that, or you can get really crazy with an FPX OMG. I mean, the third one's up to you, but if you want to guarantee yourself at least one winning team, you go Rogue Warriors EDG, Rogue Warriors Up, And then probably something like Sunny
Like
OMG.
two terrible dogs. Yeah, two terrible dogs.
Yeah. So yeah, you could do that, or just go Suning. I don't know, like Suning BLG or something like that, or Suning LGD.
Yeah. All right. I'm making notes. We're gonna make this happen. So what? I don't know. I feel like you don't really play cash. So do you have a cash lineup for me? Do you have teams I would play if I was going to drop?
If you're playing cash, you want to play Suning. Suning is going to be the number one team that you need to play in cash. And then besides that, I think IG, if you can fit it, is a team that you want to play. And the advantage, especially with both of these teams, is you know exactly who's playing on both of them.
Okay. Yeah. I'll mess around with that.
So if you can get something, I think you can even play like a tie. Like, let's take a look.
Yeah, let's mess with it, shall we?
So I suspect you won't be able to do what I want to do, but let's try.
All right, who's the must captain play on Suning or IG?
Well, it's more so what
we can fit. Yeah. So you don't want to play on. You've already said that.
I don't want to, but we might have to. Okay, so here's what you do. Here's a cash. This is probably what I would play in cash too.
All right.
S of M. Bin. Zune. XZZ.
Yeah.
Hung Fong.
Hung Fong.
And then you can play Lucas or on, and then just play the like you can play on and then go IG, or go Lucas and then play Suning. Up to you.
Interesting. You just don't like on, so I think I'm going to go the other way.
I mean, yeah, like I don't like him in comparison, but like I'd rather have 4 Suning players than going 3-3-1.
Okay, I mean, I get you. All right, man. Boom, done. I'm going to save that, and yeah.
That feels like the absolute best kind of cash lineup. So I mean, it's just 200. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong there.
Nah, it's totally fine. I will save that for later. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna, throw all my money at this, and then when they all lose, as they do when I play, you do the opposite and win, and then I will just have a nice, easy breezy Sunday and don't even have to watch football.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and put these out every day, something similar to this, where we talk a little bit about it. Again, the articles can be found over at the esportsdepartment.com or over at drroto.com.
And when's this run through?
The 21st. Okay. If you want to watch the games, they are on Munchables Twitch channel. So search Munchables. He'll be casting all of them, where somebody else on his channel will.
It's a great name, Munchables. I like that.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and we'll catch you all next time we're around.